Big God bless you, friends. Big God bless you. I hope you're well on this incredible time in history. Can you believe that we live in such a day where tyranny is running rampant and largely the people are carrying on as though nothing's happening? Sweep it under the carpet, bury your head in the sand, pretend that nothing's going on, and the church, which should have been the answer to so many people, is totally silent. Pastors are silent. They're silent. They don't say anything about it. They just carry on as normal. They're normal programs. They carry on. They're normal programs. They're normal little preach, and it all sounds lovely. And friends, we don't need to wonder now how it happened in Germany in the 30s. We now wonder no more. This is how it all occurred. People just don't want to know. They would just rather pretend that life is going on while countless millions of people around the world are suffering. People are committing suicide. People can't see their loved ones as they pass away. People are separated. People are segregated. People are discriminated against, while at the same time this false narrative of inclusion is preached to deceive the masses, to hide the fact that discrimination is afoot, and leaders can get away with saying things like they would rather flamethrower the unvaccinated, use napalm against them. That's perfectly acceptable now. We're living in a day where it's perfectly acceptable to say all kinds of hateful things against those who are not following the narrative. Durham Cathedral, vaccine passport to enter, and it's perfectly acceptable. We don't talk about it, friends. Let's not talk about it. We just get on, and anyone who does talk about it, friends, just ostracize them. Don't talk to them. Don't communicate with them anymore. Treat them like a conspiracy theorist, just like the narrative, just like the mainstream media have taught you. Believe it all, and don't accept what the Bible says anymore about the inhabitants of the earth being deceived by the Antichrist system. And people say, where is the Antichrist system? Well, the Antichrist system is anything that is not pro-Christ. Civil liberties can be completely swept away under the guise of health, and nobody says a word. Nobody says a word. That I find absolutely disturbing, that people are totally silent. They don't want to speak out. Where are we going to be in 10 years' time? I don't know. If this continues, where are we going to be? Because since the rollout of all this, technology has really taken its position as planned by the global elite. And we can see things like Amazon are now pushing the whole Amazon One, payment with your hand. Payment with your hand. It's all kind of merging with Bible prophecy, isn't it? But let's ignore it. Let's not worry about it. Absolutely unbelievable. Friends, let us keep on standing our ground. You're not going mad. You're not going mad. I know it's tragic. And I know that you feel so alone in all of this, but you're not alone. You are a warrior for standing up in an age of spinelessness. I can't say it any other way, where people just refuse to talk about this. They either refuse to talk about it or they're totally deluded. And I said that trouble was coming to Europe. It's really here, friends. It's really here, but let's just ignore it. Let's read the book, because I wrote, remember, trumpet blast warning? I don't know what it was used for by many people after they finished reading it. Maybe a doorstop or toilet paper. I don't know what they used it for, but they certainly didn't take it to heart. It was a bit of fun entertainment. But here we are, friends. Tyranny is here, just as was warned in the Bible, just as I've been warning and shouting out since 2009. And I will continue, friends. I will continue to shout out until the day I breathe my last. You hear about the lady that was thrown off the bus? Italian lady. Couldn't get on the bus. That's what we've got here now. We can't get on the bus anymore. Can't go into a restaurant. We're not supposed to talk about this, though. You know, as a Christian, I'm not supposed to talk about this. I'm not supposed to talk about the injustice of all of this. I'm supposed to just talk about the usual things. I'm supposed to preach a nice little gospel, choose a nice little psalm, and totally ignore what's happening. Rather than shout from the rooftops, which is what every pastor should be doing. And that would probably end the crisis. If every pastor stood up and said, no, this is not happening. This is not happening. Jesus Christ said, I will build the church and the gates of hell will not prevail against it. But many pastors are allowing the gates of hell to prevail against that church. And you have to ask the question then, since Jesus said it can't prevail against the church, is that the church? Is that the church? I would say that anyone who is following all of the restrictions has to ask that question. Am I following the laws of God, or am I following the laws of the government? Meanwhile, tyranny takes a hold. And the more tyranny advances, the harder it's going to be to reclaim our freedoms. And if we keep on submitting to this, we will lose every single freedom that anyone ever fought for. This is where we are in history at this point. I know what side of history I want to be on, and I want to stand before God with a clear conscience. Not someone who was silent, not someone who was spineless, not someone who said, I don't want to have anything to do with this. I'm just going to be a nice little Christian, and all those who speak out against it, well, they're deceived. They're deceived. They shouldn't be talking about this. I don't want to be on that side. I want to be on the side that did everything I can, even if this kills me. And here, people are talking about all kinds of preparations, friends, to stop the tyranny as it encroaches further and further and further. People don't know whether we're going to be blocked from leaving this island. We're being blocked from travel, and it seems to be moving in that direction. Friends, let us stand up and be warriors in this age of darkness. Are we going to be warriors, or are we going to be warriors? Come on, friends. Come on, friends. Let's rise up in the spirit of Moses. Let's rise up in the spirit of Daniel. Let's rise up in the spirit of all those who stood against tyranny. God is with us. God will help us. He will protect us. And friends, even if I die, I don't care. I will not stop speaking out the truth in this age of absolute wickedness and darkness, because this is what it's come to, friends. Good versus evil. Wickedness versus righteousness. What side of the fence? Friends, if we remain silent, we become complicit in the rise of this tyranny. Friends, let's stand up. It's not too late to start and say, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up and fight against this evil. God bless you. Love you always. I'll speak to you again another time.